Hi, we're going to continue reading The Poet's Dog. I'm actually going to back up to the chapter before just to refresh your memory of where we left off. So I'm going to read you chapter 6, Something Good. Day 3 in the cabin during a horrific storm, Nickel read dramatically from his notebook. Flora is rummaging through the refrigerator like a hungry weasel, searching for something mysterious and possibly poisonous. Nickel wrote silently in his notebook every day and had just begun reading his views of our life in the cabin. His writing is funny, sly, and sometimes poignant. Sylvan had taught me that word, poignant. It may be the most important thing in poetry, Sylvan tells me, poignancy. Sylvan would have said that Nickel had style. Not once had Nickel asked to use Sylvan's computer. The silver computer sat silently on his desk, cover closed. There was something final about that. Sylvan closes his laptop computer with a snap. The end. Dunno. The loud word dunno causes me to leap up from a sound sleep. Sylvan grins at me and brings a pillow over to my red rug. He lies next to me, one arm around me. Because I am a dog with a good nose and fine ears, I can hear that he is not breathing easily. He doesn't have the same Sylvan smell that I know. You should go to the vet, I tell him. The doctor, he corrects me. Yes. Ellie's driving me to the doctor tomorrow. You can have a nice talk with her. His grin is huge. Flora had become the cook, inventing meals that looked terrible, but surprised us by tasting good. I lap up her soups noisily, the liquid first, then eating whatever she has added at the end. That's a much better way to eat soup than with a spoon, said Nickel. Peanut butter's very hard, I told him, trying to get it off the roof of my mouth. It's not because I'm a girl that I cook, Flora explained. I like it. It's in the herbs, like science. When I grow up and have 27 cats and dogs and become a horse trainer, I will have a large collection of herbs. Nickel laughed, the cheerful sound cutting through the constant noise of the wind outside. It reminded me of Sylvan's laugh. I will find a horse. You just watch, said Flora, turning on the oven. And she will, said Nickel. Nickel and I went outside to the shed while Flora cooked whatever invention she cooked. It was still hard to get through the wind and drifts. We both ran with our heads down. When we reached the shed, we opened the door and shut it behind us. The shed smelled the sweet smell of cut wood. It was strangely warm and quiet. Nickel leaned against the woodpile for a moment. This is where you slept after Sylvan left, he said, nodding at the pile of gray blankets behind the woodpile. Yes. You didn't want to sleep in the house alone. No. Were you warm enough? Most nights. Nickel sighed. But what will happen to you after Flora and I go home? I didn't answer. After a moment, Nickel started loading wood into the log carrier. Just before we opened the door to fight our way back to the cabin, Nickel turned. Something good will happen, I know. After all, you once had Sylvan, he said. He said it with a poignant tone. That word again, poignant. When we were out in the snow and wind again, walking quickly, Nickel suddenly touched my head. Look. In the clearing close to the woods stood a deer, the color of dawn, watching us. A sign of something good, said Nickel. We hurried on, and when we both looked back, the deer was gone. Chapter 7, Going Away. I told them in the morning. I didn't want to tell them at night. Night could bring dreams. We were eating pancakes that Flora had made without milk, strange and grainy and wonderful with lots of maple syrup. I licked the syrup off first, then ate the pancake in small bits. Nickel watched me and ate his pancake the same way. It made Flora laugh. Nickel had found the cord to charge the weather box. More days of bad weather. Ice is possible before the storm ends. The roads will be cleared after 2 days. Things will open again. Electricity will be back on in most places. So, I said suddenly, Sylvan got very sick. I hadn't meant to say it right out like that. Nickel put down his fork. Flora opened her mouth, but for the first time since I'd known her, no words came out. You didn't think he'd just gone away and left me, did you? I asked. After all I've told you about him. Flora shook her head, still silent. I could see tears at the edges of Nickel's eyes. That's the story, I said. He got sick. Ellie comes to drive Sylvan to the doctor. The day is sunny, and she walks into the house without knocking. Hello, Teddy, she says. She puts her head down next to mine and hugs me. Hello, Ellie, I say. She grins. I can hear you, she says happily. You're a poet, I say. Sylvan comes into the living room dressed in a tweed jacket over a blue shirt. His eyes are as blue as the shirt. Did I hear you two talking? He asks slyly. Yes, says Ellie. I'm wondering if my dog Billy will talk to me when I get home. No, says Sylvan, but don't worry. You'll have many hours to read to him. Ellie sighs. No, Billy's more of a sleeper, she says. I'll drive, says Sylvan, who since I've known him has only ridden a bike. Ellie's no fool. Do you have a driver's license, she asks. No, he's a poet, I say, making Ellie laugh. I'm driving, says Ellie. You can sit next to me and roll out your lovely words. Ellie strokes my head. Do you want to ride in the car with us, she asks me. I'll wait here, I say. I don't want to leave the house. I'm afraid that if I leave, somehow everything may change. I walk outside and watch them drive off in Ellie's small red car.